start. Crash off. Sembene clearing his lines. Doda tries to force the issue. Faris Mamoun Abdallah fast to pick up possession. Gets the throw in. Intercepted. Unable to keep control of that ball, and that scores away. Cisse. It's been relatively quiet today. Hasn't had a couple of his notorious runs from the flank into the center of the 18-yard. To keep that ball in play, and the ball goes over the line. That's a throw-in. Senegal have had 73.0 possession over the opening 15 minutes of the game. Second half, to be precise. And that pressure finally telling. Sudan cracking under the constant bombardment and siege after siege of attack. So they have to defend again. Senegal are on the prowl. And Cisse is begging for a penalty from the referee. Be persuaded into doing anything out of the book, but that was quite untold there from Al-Tayeb Abdul Razak. He can count himself very lucky that he doesn't go to the book this time round. I have to say, Kwesi Afia's charges are now feeling the pressure of taking the lead in the game. Owners are even. Sudan 1, Senegal 1. Ball repelled. The rebound off target. Pretty speculative from Issa Kane. Just came on, substitute in the second half. Give it a good fuck at that. You could say, yeah. Aptly right in the situation. Mohamed El Noor launches a long, searching ball. Aerial challenges and ultimately brought down, and the Falcons are on the upper hand, looking to race that ball forward. It's a little too far forward for their liking. Goalkeeper Mark Phillips, Youth, will be very pleased with how that turned out. Omar Ba trying to spread the ball to the opposite flank. Sudan have seen that trick one too many times and knew what to anticipate. Senegal there with a lion's share of shots, 11-5. Sudan, who have had a more clinical approach to the game. Look at that instance there under the offside flag. Rightly so. On against Mohamed Tea. Hold up is good. Nice through pass. Intercepted. Now battling for possession. Cleared away by Faris Mamoun. To the center of the park. Abdul Razak. Still holding on to possession. Now picks his pass. Good control. Ooh, there was a bit of a coming together there. It was every man for himself. Azim Fadul getting the ball behind. Entirely shell-shocked as Dodaba picks up possession here for the Lions of Teranga. Looking to space themselves out. For some reason, they would be forgiven for thinking Sudan have about 15 players on that pitch covering the positions aptly well, blocking any passing channels just like they have right there. Faris Mamoun. Clips that ball forward. That's easily averted here. And possession turned over to Senegal. Yae. Support here. One way than the other. Touch. Goalkeeper will pick that up. Joseph Lyose Just making sure that that's safely escorted to his bosom. Pick up. That's another foul. The referee, once again, with no option, she'll have to brandish a card. It's a yellow card. This red, you'll have to fear for that defense. It's the latest to get on the referee's wrong side. El Tayeb Abdel Razak Abeka Abdallah, the man that plays for Al Hilal Khartoum, was run out of mercies from the referee. Now he's also walking on very thin ice. Might just be there and do it here. Sudan continue to pick up booking after booking. So confirmation, Mohamed Abdul Rashid Mahmoud is the man that goes to the book. Free kick now for Senegal. 67 minutes of the game played. Sudan 1, Senegal 1. If it ends this way, well, there'll be no extra time, but it will be straight. When it comes to penalties, Sudan having quite the strong record. They've won 3 of their 4 penalties in the CHAN tournament. When you look at Senegal, they've lost 2 of the last 3 penalty shootouts they've had in the CHAN tournament. World of thought, therefore, by Asane Sess. I hope his team do not have to play the lottery of the sport kicks. They can get the job settled in the 90 minutes. Center of the park. Nice pickup. Managing to just keep that in play. Good play from Omaba. By Ndiaye. The flank. Very multi-position approach here from Senegal. Senor Sek constantly dropping as far back as the defense, which is interesting for a man outside up front. Now trying to carry the ball forward. There's a shrug off, and it's definitely going to attract the referee's attention. Sembene Al-Haj Malik jousted off the ball. Unfair body charge. And Mohamed Tea is already on a yellow card. Needs to desist from unnecessary charges, lest finds himself sent in for an early shower, putting the Falcons on a numerical disadvantage. Here's another one that wasn't able to play a full 90 minutes from Seka Bonventura. Struck down by injury. Had to be taken off in the first half. Free kick, picked up, open chance, goalkeeper stands. Still an opportunity for a retake. They have a chance from the header, and that's off target. And that's a top finish and a top save to match. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Could have been the moment that Senegal were looking for. Amadou Benekoli with a quick strike. And Mohamed El Noor says, "Thou shalt not pass." Excellent reflexes here from goalkeeper. Not one. A multitude of saves that he has had to pull off with 20 minutes left to play. Another one that throws his hat in the ring for the man of the match. Contention. Long touching ball. And that will only go to the favor of Farish Mamoun, who doesn't waste time. Hacks it clear. The ball is put into touch. Knocked out here and goes over the line. That's a throw-in. Souleymane Diallo. About to make a few decisions of his own, and Sudan might have a change in the offing. Maz Kandani Koko set to be thrown on. Brushed off, laid onto the flank for Yessa. Boshara. That is a little too slick for their own liking. The counter-attack is on. Cisse in possession. Waiting for support to arrive. It does arrive finally. Opting to go towards the final third. They lose possession, but they recover it just in time. Slippery surface on the pitch. And a shot from distance. Ahmed El-Noor will not be beaten again. Senegal getting pretty imaginative, bearing down consistently on the box area of Sudan. Ahmed El-Noor seems to be the man that's standing between them and that second goal that would all but assure them of a third place finish. Omaba plays it forward. Chance to romp up the speed. Dodaba. Gentleman who's just had all the creative freedom to roam around the pitch as it pleases. Does that with some very solid and astute hard work that he implies in. Senegal are playing the third place playoff for the second time in their history. The first time they did, it wasn't good results. They lost to Zambia in 2009. And this time round, they become the first defending champions to contest the bronze medal. That goal is giving them a breath of fresh air, allowing them to get back into this contest, allowing them to lift the lead over what was becoming a suffocating atmosphere here. DIA is doing enough to get the job done. Substitution, and that's the end of the game for Osenyo Sek in his place. Welcome a man that has definitely had quite a couple of games in here. Mokta Koita Serigne, man that comes on, and now they are on the attack. Mokta tends to make a big impact when he comes from the bench. Koita, well, he did that to devastating effect against the Cranes of Uganda. Can he pull it off again? Koite clipped into box area. Koite gets onto the ball, nods it down. Senegal doing pretty well to retain possession in the final third, skipping away from one challenge. This is pleasing to the eye, but does it have the final delivery desired? Their time now trying to coax out Sudan from their shell in the defense. And committing bodies forward now, looking to suffocate as a chance comes through. Koite turning one way then the other, fashions up the cutback. Nobody was alert. Dauda now playing almost in the left back position. Searching ball, trying to thread the ball in, but wasn't good enough. Absolutely not good enough here. The need for them to realign. Look at the gentleman on the bench, and here's another substitution. Awad Zaid Bekit Gadin is set to come on, as will Maz himself. We talked about earlier, Maz Kandani Koko. It's the end of the game of the goal scorer. Already on a yellow card, perhaps a smart move to draw him out of the line of fire. Ahmed Tea Abed played his game, now exits, and his place will be taken by Maz Kandini Koko, man that plays for Al Ahli Mandani in Sudan. 15 minutes left to play here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in the third place playoff. Owen, the referee not pleased with the position where it's about to be taken, so drawn back. Clock steadily ticking home. Just might be in for a bit more drama. Counter-attack, pressing on the flank. Are there options down the center? Well, chooses to go one way, takes the shot, but he's well closed down. Opportunity still available. Sudan throwing bodies in front of the ball. They do enough to prevent the ball flying towards the goalkeeper, but it comes at some very physical discomfort. Asane Ses, watching on from the bench. Kwese Appiah already had his roll of the die. Take another look at that attack by Libase Gaye to take the shot, ultimately closed down. Second chance coming through. Quick close once again, denying Dauda Ba an opportunity. He seems to have a bee in his bonnet. He's looking for every single opportunity that he can to get anywhere near that goal and take the shot. Dauda Ba, it would be just fated for him if he was able to be the man that sets the Lions of Teranga on the front foot. Substitution there, and the heaving from El Tayeb Abdel Razik tells a very important story. Actually, the heaving from the goal scorer, Mohamed Teya. Just take another look at players here. Heightened sense of anticipation. Bodies that have given everything and more. At this point, you get the feeling probably just wheeling themselves on. They have enough to finally land a decisive blow here in this third place playoff contest. Gets back onto his feet, not for the last time. El Tayeb Abdel Razak. Zig goes off here, gets some medical attention. It looks like referee Shamira Nabada will make mention here to the medical officials and the casualty that she won't tolerate smell-like pests off the pitch. Wants to get on with the game. So Sudan momentarily down to 10 men. As El Tayeb Abdel Razik is off, recovering from his latest coming together. They do have possession here. Interesting turning. Razik Taha, main man, on to the captain, Farish Mamoun. Now setting themselves on the front foot. Musa Hussein Ali. Been quiet in the second half, but quite nearly exploding to life in that sequence. Kole doing a brilliant job to slide in with that challenge. He manages to avert the danger, and instead it's a goal kick. Brilliant play from Kole. Amadou Bene Kole. Mana plays for Agel Rufisque in Senegal. Final 10 minutes of the game before time to be added. Some minds at the moment have already gone wandering about. Some are already beginning to think and speculate about how the penalties will go. Senegal more than double the attempts on goal, 15-5. And now they'll come forward looking for another attempt. Chances here. Sudan, once again, safety first, hacking that ball clear. That's a guy not happy with the turnout of events, as there's a player on the ground. Referee won't buy that. Sudan now have a chance to lead the counter-attack, but playing the ball squarely back to Sembene of Senegal. Pick up is good. Issa Kane sitting deep in that anchor role. Hoyte turning one way, then the other. Still retains possession for Senegal. 10 minutes on the clock and counting. Through pass. Cisse with Koite in support. One man enough to wreck the move. Mohamed Ahmed Saeed. It's been 30 minutes since Sudan last attempted a shot in this game. It's been one-way traffic. Senegal effectively smothered this as far as it being a contest. Sudan now playing with 5 men in the back line. They'll have to come up with a little bit more of the trickery to try and unlock them up there. And the break could be on for Sudan. Have they been holding their forces in reserve, looking for a chance to strike on the counter-attack? Issa Kane. Oh, what a clear. Pick up is good. An open chance, one-on-one. Rounds the goalkeeper. Can he finish? No, he won't. Oh, my word. Now we have seen it all. A moment that probably could have given him cult-like status. Maz Kandani Koko with an opportunity to win it with 8 minutes left to play. And he now seems as bereft as a man on Mars. Absolutely bewildered. It was a glorious opportunity. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Rounded his man well enough. That was Lady Luck smiling down on the Falcons. Got the better of the 2 defenders. Beat the goalkeeper. But a lethargical shot in the end. Could blame the fact that he didn't have enough traction on the ground to stay on his feet. That should have done infinitely better. In that end, once again, Senegal's fabled defense coming to full display. Issa Kane doing enough to thwart the danger. And they live to tell the tale for another day. Well, that midfield goal has been taken off. Abdel Razak Taha. Numerous occasions he's been the man they've had to turn to for inspiration. Well, he's been largely absent in this game, heavily shackled in that midfield. Hasn't imparted any influence on the game. Not surprised he's been taken off. And in his place, Ahmed Yusuf Abdelmonem. Seven minutes on the clock. Still a very even contest here for the podium place. Third place. Sudan under pressure once again. Managed to get the most telling opportunity in this game in the second half after conceding. They've been under pressure quite nearly. The law of averages nearly evening themselves out here. Back header back to the goalkeeper. Mark Phillips, Diouf, Aruna. Mayose hasn't had many opportunities to romp forward like he loves to do. This time it's been defense more. Baye, Yaye, Sakane. Not it clear. Senegal trying to retain possession, but they ultimately lose it out. Mohamed Al Rashid lays it back to the goalkeeper. Mohamed El Noor forced into a hasty clearance, was under pressure bearing in from Dodaba. Ball fails to settle well enough for Senegal, but they still have possession. Skipping away from routes of challenge. Libase Guy just gliding across the pitch with elegance and grace as he now picks up Omar Ba. Can he keep it in play? A little earlier in the game, that would have been a possibility. This late, durability is getting tested. It's a brilliant cross there from Lebise Gaye to try and pick out Omar Ba. These two wingers constantly feeding off each other and trying to create the opportunities for the Lions of Teranga. The Lions of Teranga now need to find that inspiration. With just 4 minutes left to play as a shot from distance. Sudan is speculative, not effective. He started a host of their games and was relegated to the bench for this particular one. Now he'll be thrown into the fray. Christian Gomez is the man, and that's the change. Out goes the tireless worker. Omar Ba has played his final minutes. Now will join the rest of the team on the bench as they anticipate the close towards turning out to be quite the dramatic third-place playoff. Popped into space. Joseph Layose tries to keep it alive for Senegal. Lose possession. Sudan. That's clumsy. Mars needs to up his touch. Not been effective with his final ball. And now hands the ball now to Omar Ba. Omar Ba through the center of the park. Koite. Lebase Gaye looking for Koite. His dandy long legs not able to make the touch that he was looking for. Ball goes over the line. That's a throw-in. 3 minutes on the clock. Cut the tension out here with a knife. And how it does stand. No telling where this would go. Cleared away by the skipper Faris Mamoun. Sudan to keep this alive. And this is a chance, brilliant opportunity for Musa Hussein. Crosses the ball into the box area. Can they create? A shot from the captain, and that's sky high. Well, they expected more. And the chuckle there tells the entire story. He knows he should have done better in that moment. Urging his charges to stay switched on. Senegal with a pageant of scoring goals late in the final 15 minutes. Well, they do have themselves 2 minutes or 1 minute and a couple of seconds before time to be added on. And if it doesn't work out, then we will head straight to the lottery of the sport kicks. Ball kick. Senegal trying to avoid getting into that lottery. Did work out for them the last time round here at the Mandela National Stadium. There's a player on the ground who might require a bit of attending to. Walieldin Kadir is on the ground. A couple of players prancing and pacing on the touchline. Be a need for a substitution. Musab Mohamed Makin is another that could come in. Doesn't look like Kadir will be able to continue with this game. The stretcher coming on and he might be carried off. Fans showing up here for an entertaining game, and their money's worth. They've got it. Well, there's confirmation from the fourth official. There will be no less than 4 minutes of time added. Pressure here now, an interesting one. As Kadir is back on his feet instantly. The referee brandishing a yellow card for Mohamed El Noor for time wasting. He's already conceded a goal in this matchup. He will not be so anxious to get the ball back into open play. Brushed off, nodded away. Teased up, good pick up here from Mars. Loses possession. Gomis Christian with his first contribution to the game. This is Koite looking for a crossfield pass, and hands on his head tell exactly what that bespoke. Looking to fashion a ball forward. Sudan attacking in droves, and that's a reckless challenge, but the referee lets play continue and now brings it back. The advantage was lost, and it's a free kick in a very promising area for Sudan. reckless challenge. I wouldn't be shocked if she chooses to brandish a card here. Oh, that was reckless from Sudan, from Senegal. Hacking clear at the man, Cissé. Shouldn't have gone in at that red. Just look at that. No intent to win the ball. And all his pleas were definitely going to fall on deaf ears. As Yessa Boshara primed himself into a sport, somehow the opportunity of a set piece so close to the goal area seems to just ramp up the energy in the stands. Look like the home crowd have chosen to side with their neighbors for the moment. It's a 5-man wall. Instructions galore on how to deal with that defense, and there's a substitution. The man that was knocked to the ground, Yessa Boshara, has made his final contribution to the game. And in his place will come the substitute, Musab Mohed Makin.
Substitution for Sudan.
As Amadou Benekoli takes the lumberjack role.
9, Yassa Boshara is replaced by player number 2.
Samira Navada having to break up fractions as Senegal continue trying to get that ball ever closer to the goal area. Well, the goalkeeper is absolutely frustrated here with Navada's failure to notice that Sudan have popped that ball closer to the goal area, and now she makes the mark of where she expects them to take the set piece from. Heightened anticipation. Could this be the decisive moment in the third place playoff? Senegal defending, Sudan with a chance. Skipper on the mark, Faris Mamoun. Those that just might attempt to take this one. Leoldin Kader. Another one who will attempt to get onto it. Sembene having a bit of a scuffle here. Looks like it's Kader that will take the shot. Kader! Ball takes a deflection. That goes wide. Good opportunity. Decent chance. Close proximity. But not quite. 4 minutes were added. 4 minutes and 20 seconds have been played. All the defense and the wall doing its job. Frustration there from the fans of Sudan, the fans of the Falcons, evident. The elation from Sembene quite telling. That means just as much to them. Musa Hussein Ali. What could be the final delivery in the match? Contention, ball still in the box area. And Senegal wanted to go onto the counter-attack, but the referee's whistle stops them in their track. 90 minutes were played. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nelson Mandela Stadium will see post-90 minutes action. And it's none other than the thrill, if you are a neutral, or the dread of the sport kicks. There's no separating the two sides. And it was a very fortunate thwarting there. Christian Gomez will be very happy that nothing more thought of that incident. Cissé had to lead the charge right from the start, and in the end there was nothing to separate the two sides. So under the night lights of the Nelson Mandela Stadium, we will have a winner through the sport kicks. Souleymane Diallo has been in this position before, knows exactly what they need to do, falling short on the last hurdle the last time out. That is what sent them to this match and sent Morocco instead to the Kasarani Stadium. Well, at the end of the second half, it is still Sudan 1, Senegal 1. very chance to hydrate, chance to hatch a few plans. Technical team will definitely have anticipated this. Would have anticipated this kind of scenario. Now, a quick discussion here between the goalkeeping coach of Senegal, Souleymane Diallo, and it's on to the penalties. Anticipation sky high right here. Souleymane Diallo knows that his charges now must come to the fore for youth. Mark Phillips, a couple of days ago, was in a similar position. Wasn't quite able to make any saves. This time have any luck for them. He takes the captain's armband, given the fact that the man supposed to lead the charge, Bane Hassan Sis, was taken off. Interestingly, it will be the same goal where they were on Tuesday, or where he stood on Tuesday, where the sport kicks will be taken again. The goal right beneath the giant screen of the Mandela National Stadium. The lottery can sometimes smile fortunately, sometimes smile cruelly, depending on how Lady Luck chooses to throw her weight this time round. Even for a seasoned veteran, a legend of the game like Kwesi Appiah, he knows that it all just now boils down to luck and instincts. For the fans, a chance to enjoy the thrill of the game and how it ends up here. Senegal already on their mark at the halfway line as the goalkeepers now make that long, lonely walk towards the goal area. It's now down to them and what abilities they have. Sudan attempting the last 5 shots in the game. Senegal's last shot was taken in the 72nd minute. Thereafter, it all now turned to Sudan. It's been a game that has had the ebb and flow. It all comes down to this. Who will step up first? Big question. Nabanda calling both goalkeepers to the line and explaining what she anticipates or expects from each of them. That they do understand the rules of the game. The hearty wishes for good luck and fair fortune between the two custodians of the goal. Might be the last time they have a friendly exchange, as it's time to go to war. First up, Walden Kader of Sudan is the man that steps up. Has played for Al Hilal Khartoum. Well, he's one with a very trusty right boot. Will it dispatch? Lucky. The pressure mounting sky high. This is not for the faint of hearted. Kader, not in a rush. In his run up, takes it and misses it. Well, first strike unlucky. Senegal missed their first penalty in the quarterfinals. Now in the 3rd place, the roles have reversed. And Kader sends that out wide. Penalty missed. That's one thing to cheer the miss of the penalty. It's another altogether to convert yours. Mark Phillips Diouf elated. He's not really had to be put onto the spot in that instance. How decisive will that miss be? Stepping up, Joseph Layosse, the top scorer for Senegal, will be the next man that steps to the mark. Ahmed El-Noor, towering colossus of a man, spreading his frame across the goal sticks. Well, it's the mind games now. Jose makes the run, plants it! Advantage Senegal. Not celebrating, not just yet. Just a nonchalant look at the goalkeeper. His job is done. His contribution to the game is over. That's been his tournament. Joseph Laose will hope that the rest of his teammates have similar fortunes. Up next, Mohamed Ahmed Sayed will step up to take the penalty next year for Sudan. Must make this count if they are to get themselves into the fray. Cannot afford to miss a second in succession. Takes the penalty. Well, that struck the upright and still went onto the side. It needed to for Sayed. Sudan now up and running as far as the penalties are concerned. Well, took a strike on that upright. You could hear it from out here. The only thing that counts is the fact that it rolled to the net, and it will count. Now breaking stuff it is. Souleymane Diallo barely afford to watch what's happening. And up next for Senegal will be the man that at some point denied Sudan a chance, a clear chance at goal. It is Issa Kane. Had a tremendous save in the second half to deny Mars. Now he wrecks his run up, dispatches it. Mohamed El-Noor with a last second change of mind, and he must be frustrated. You could see from the sequence that he had attempted to leave a leg strolling out there. Now that's a very cheeky penalty right down the middle. He had a feeling that just might be the place for Issa. Elation for Mohamed El-Noor. Despondence. And on the roll goes. Penalty. Stepping up. A chance here to dispatch it. Goes for it, and that's a save! Oh my word, the agony. Now they really have their backs against the wall. Masoud Mohamed Makin came on as a substitute. And it's another miss. Mark Phillips Diouf with a fine save. But in all fairness, that was a very tame penalty. Too close to the goalkeeper. Easy pickings. Now Sudan now have their backs against the wall. It could all come down to the next two takes of the ball. Making the walk up. Slow, elegant. Now with a chance. Dodaba. It's actually Cisse from the mark. Cisse with the run up. It needs help from the woodwork, but it does just as he intended it to do. 3 out of 3. Now Sudan must score to stay alive in this. It all comes down to this kick. Miss it, and you're done for the tournament. For Mark Phillips Diouf, save this one, and you're guaranteed to have medals to take all the way back to Dakar. Well, for the fans of Sudan, this is agonizing. It's painful to watch. They'll take again. They'll have to go again. There's no two ways about it. They must get the job done. Ahmed Yusuf Abdul Monem with the run. Power he uses. And there's a hint of precision about it. Buries that ball. Momentarily keeps the Falcons alive in this contest. But only just. Only just. It was well taken. Goalkeeper had already chosen his direction. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right direction. And that raffles the net. And now the decisive one. It all comes down to this at this point. Well, his tormented multitudes on the flanks, and the prayers and supplications to deities above from Mark Phillips Diouf are already ensue. Libase Gaye with a chance to win it all here for the Lions of Teranga, with an opportunity for them to pick up medals in the quest they set out to defend their title with one last kick. Libase Gaye makes his run, dispatches it! We have a winner! They have done it! Lions of Teranga officially stamp their name on the third place. And the final blow of the whistle confirms to all here and beyond. It's Senegal that will celebrate. For Sudan, it was a gallant attempt. It was a fairy tale run. Nothing short of the proper Cinderella story. But thus far they could only come. And now they will only have to watch. And it's the fourth place that they will take in this tournament. Another look at that final penalty. Wasn't going to be played about with as far as the mind games are concerned. Arcing himself just brilliantly and guiding that to the back of the net. Souleymane Diallo finally with a sigh of relief and a prayer of gratitude. It's guaranteed they will have something to show for the tournament when they return home. Mark Phillips Diouf with a save in the penalty spot kicks. It was just what they needed to get the job done. Long, hard tournament. Started off on the 2nd. Now comes to a conclusion for them on the 29th. And it's full time right here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. Sudan 1, Senegal 1. Senegal winning 4-2 on penalties. The congratulatory hugs all around. Will be an opportunity now to reflect on how this has gone, probably just according to plan, at least in the final few seconds. In about 8 minutes or so, the award ceremony will start, but for the moment it's a chance now to take it all in. Let the moment sink on them, basking in the glory of the third place victory. Their race is run. Sudan taking the honorary lap of honor. It's going around and making applause here to the fans who have cheered them on, who believed and prayed and hoped that they would be able to go ahead and probably stun the top contenders, the defending champions that were. It just wasn't to be. Their fairy dust had run out and the magic was now gone. Took the lead in the game, pegged back in the second half, and ultimately undone by the very unpredictable penalties. A couple of players have put their foot forward. Farish Mahmoud, one of those astute leader on the pitch. Definitely have a couple of people contending for his signature, probably later on down the line with that performance. Take time here to appreciate the entire audience on how things have turned out at the end of the day. For the Ugandans, quite the experience. The tournament finally came home. Was supposed to have been played in February, and they had to wait for a chance to showcase their ability at hosting the continent. And by and large, have they proven that their fabled hospitality is not myth, but stout fact. Cheered on, celebrated, enjoyed in a stadium that has created moments and has given elation to many and has broken others down to shed tears in various moments. Ultimately, a moment of prayer now for the team that is victorious as we present to you the man of the match, Douda Ba. They played a very, very tremendous game here. Sudan had a very good run through, and we now look at their numbers in their final journey. Not the team that loves the possession and didn't have much use for it, but their shots were on 10 with only 3 on target. Senegal ramping up the pressure in the second half with 15 shots, 6 on goal, and ultimately managing to unlock the defense that had become very stubborn after the first half. Sudan might want to take a keen eye on the 16 fouls they committed, and ultimately they had to do a bit of frustrating to stay in the running. And at the end of the day, picked up 4 yellow cards, 3 for Senegal. But at the end of the 90 minutes, it was a goal apiece, and it had to come down to the sport kicks. And so the long journey comes to a close. Sudan upsetting the odds and getting the better of Algeria. When they faced off with Madagascar, they were on the receiving end of a hiding. And now they came to the third place playoff and have to settle for fourth place. Senegal themselves hosting the hosts Uganda, facing off with Morocco. What proved to be a nerve-wracking experience. The sport kicks unfair to them that time round, sending them to the third place playoff, but this time they smile kindly on them. Right here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium, nestled in the bustling suburb of Boyogedere in Kampala, where activity continues as the celebrations begin inside the Nelson Mandela Stadium. We're 3 minutes away from the official celebrations. Goalkeepers now looking at the wear and tear they've had to undergo. That man, probably a big one. And for Sudan, that's the last we'll see of them here as they make that long trek back to the dressing room. They'll be very proud with all the efforts that they've put up here. And I think as they set out with the intention to bring smiles and hope to the war-torn crisis that is happening in Sudan, or that's been ongoing in Sudan, I can say that world over, anybody affiliated with Sudan will be extremely, extremely proud of the efforts that they have put out here. Oite. Celebratory mode. The hard work done, the price paid, and now the prize they will attain, third place. Definitely had quite a number of moments in here. Nelson Mandela, rarely empty. This time, not any different. Fans showing up to witness this one as a celebratory toss of the gaffer Sulemane Diallo. One of those moments every coach hopes for when they get into the tournament. Praise that they do get. Now it slowly begins to sink in. They didn't get to the top of the mountain, but they got as close as they can. We're 1 minute and 30 seconds away from the award ceremony getting underway. decked out in the colors of the 8th edition of the Africa Nations Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the medal ceremony for the third place game of the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024.
The referee is taking a moment here, the entire officiating team taking a moment here to reflect on those 90 minutes.
Please welcome to
Job
the podium
was done.
Madame Bestine Kazadi, the Vice President of CAF, accompanied by the dignitaries. Basemone banyabo tuwanirize muchala Bestine Kazadi amyuko mkulembeze wa CAF n'abakungu abalala.
And now what was the grounds for battle will also be transformed to the podium for the crowning. Madame Bestine Kazadi, the Vice President of CAF, with a host of dignitaries now making their way onto the pitch. Entourage, the Federation of Uganda Football Association President, Engineer Moses Magogo, in tow, as they make their way to crown the victors of the third place playoff. Well, there she is, the Vice President. Must be very pleased with all that she's seen on display here tonight. Brilliantly played game of football. Proper even contest. And that's the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Thomas Tayewa. Deputy Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, with President Moses Magogo of the Federation of Uganda Football. They make their way onto the stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the podium the match officials of the third place game of the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024.
A match where all was settled on the pitch, and Shamira Nabada alongside Adele Abane and Malondi Chane Yanes had absolutely no need this time round to go to the VAR room. The congratulatory hug there from the Deputy Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament tells you just how proud they are of this lady and her telling contributions to the game of football. A real stalwart and a bright star as far as the ladies' contribution in the game. Popularly known as Fimbo here in Uganda. Well, she'll be an inspiration to so many for the heights she's scaled. And probably now can begin to think about a well-earned rest, because it's been non-stop
Ladies
for her,
and gentlemen,
as the VAR officials also get their medals here. And they'll have their moment to take that immortalization shot that they will reflect on. Well, now the moment that they were playing for. A couple of hours ago, they walked out on the pitch dreaming and hoping it would be them. That dream, that hope, that illusion, now a firm, stuck reality. They've finished it off. They've managed to get the bronze medals and finish in third place. Strong performance from Koite Dauda. Unsurprising that he picked up the man of the match performance. A real speedster with the guile and the heart of a proper lion, prowling every part of the pitch. Doing just enough to get the team on the front foot. Sa had to come in as a substitute and made sure that they kept the back door bolted tight. Sudan had to contend with nothing more, as did Sembene, who also came on as a substitute. Pape Badji not taking any part in this game, but had his telling contributions in the games earlier. So congratulations continue to go out to them. Omar Ba, trickster, speedster, and one blessed with 2 empirical feet, causing torment to many, and ultimately paying off here in the 3rd place. Ndiaye, a bedrock in that back line. Get his congratulations as well for a well-performed duty at the back. And Koli will be the man that gets to celebrate here, having come on as a substitute to take the place of the captain, Baye Sis Asane. Finally, the mastermind, the tactician, the gaffer, the leader, the father of the pack, the apex lion, Sulemane Diallo, joins Senegal as they get a moment to celebrate what's been a fruitful campaign. It is a 3rd place finish for Senegal.
One of Africa's most iconic artists, the legendary Jose.
And as they celebrate into the night, the party will begin here in Kampala, Uganda. Senegal with the 3rd place finish. And now to celebrate and to join them will be legendary Ugandan and African performer, popularly known as the musical doctor, Jose Chameleon, will start off the party right here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium as the Lions of Teranga celebrate into the night, and fireworks erupts all around the Nelson Mandela Stadium. It's a culmination of what has been nothing short of an intriguing, interesting, entertaining, highly anticipated, top-notch tournament, the 8th edition of the African Nations Championship. It will be a moment here to reflect, and for Asane Sis walks away with a medal as Jose Chameleon gets to do what he loves to do very well. Proud moment for him. As a Ugandan performing for the continent. He's done it many times over, but now the continent comes home to him as we catch a glimpse of the night sky, now decorated with pyrotechnics and fireworks to crown the final match, the swan song, the last dance in the African Nations Championship 2024. And Nelson Mandela Stadium has been nothing short of a home, has been nothing short of the theater of theatrics, has been nothing short of a crucible that's tested the worth of multitudes. From this stadium emerge the finalists that will contend for the title tomorrow. From this stadium emerge one that comes in the 3rd place and receives the bronze medals. As we now take a reflection on some of the moments of that celebration of the 3rd place playoffs, we now will bid you goodbye from Kampala, Uganda, and pass the baton on to the Moi International Sports Complex in Kasarani, where the grand finale awaits.